How's it going, anime lovers? My name is David, and today I want to talk to you guys about what we've seen so far from the live-action Cowboy Bebop series. Netflix has been releasing a lot of previews for this series for the past couple of months, and with the series coming very soon to its platform, I've got to say that I am actually very impressed with what I've seen so far. From the opening that was recently revealed and the Lost session that previews what we could possibly expect from this series, it seems like Netflix is finally getting their shit together and we could possibly see a successful live-action adaptation from them. I honestly think that Netflix has nailed the visual presentation for Cowboy Bebop so far from the previews, and that alone has given me a lot of hope that this live-action series could be great. However, I do realize that Netflix does have a bad reputation in the past for making bad live-action anime adaptations, and a lot of people are still hung up on those things because a lot of people are still bringing their cynicism into this live-action series, which is understandably so because Netflix does have a lot to prove with this series. Also, it doesn't help that some of the changes that have been seen from the previews so far are making people furious because they are very significant, and it's something that I really want to talk to you guys about today since they could affect how successful this live action series could be. Now, I realize that I could be totally wrong and Netflix may not have shown a lot of stuff that may make anime fans really frustrated with it, but so far I am actually very optimistic for the series, and that's what I really want to concentrate on today and try to have some hope and bring some optimism into this conversation. So with that being said, here are 3 things that I'm really optimistic about for the Cowboy Bebop live action series. It will attract new people to watch the anime. Recently, I finished watching the Cowboy Bebop anime for the first time ever because I was curious to see what was so great about it since it's such a popular recommendation for people who want to get into anime. If you want to hear my full thoughts on my first experience watching Cowboy Bebop, then you should watch my previous video that I did for it to hear my full thoughts on the anime. But the gist of it was that I finally understood why Cowboy Bebop was so popular is because Cowboy Bebop is not a traditional anime. Cowboy Bebop is very much an anime that was wholly influenced by Western culture, so I can only imagine the people who are watching the live action series as their first experience into Cowboy Bebop will be warmer to the idea of watching the anime afterwards if the most important parts that made Cowboy Bebop unique is kept the same in the live action series. One thing that made Cowboy Bebop stand out to me when I was watching the anime was that the plot was simply about bounty hunters in the near future catching fugitives, and most of the episodes focused on a new hunt, which revealed more about Cowboy Bebop's world and its characters. This simple premise is precisely why Cowboy Bebop is such a great beginner anime, so as long as the live action series does the same thing, it could once again serve as the gateway into getting more people to watch anime in general. If you guys have been paying attention to the news for this live action series at all, you would know that there are a couple of changes already revealed that has frustrated many anime fans, such as the absence of Ed, who is one of the main characters for the anime version of Cowboy Bebop. Now, while I understand why fans will be frustrated to see this significant change, I'm someone who isn't expecting a perfect live-action remake of the anime since I'm open to the idea of seeing how other people would put their own spin to this popular series and add on to its legacy instead of just polishing it. To me, as long as a live-action series is good enough to make new people want to see what was left out and make more people want to watch the anime, then I can only see that as a good thing as a fellow anime lover. It will probably be good even without Ed. Look, I know that a lot of people are frustrated with the absence of Ed from the opening that was revealed recently, and I've seen that some people are still holding on to hope that she will show up in the show at some point, but I personally don't see Ed having a significant presence in this series or even showing up at all, simply because there has been no official news about who's being cast for the role of Ed as of now. I mean, the opening has already been revealed and Ed didn't even show up in there. So I think that if you're still expecting Ed to be in the show for as long as he was in the anime, then I think you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment, because Ed is literally one of the main characters of the anime, and it makes no sense business-wise to keep her presence a secret given how popular the character is. With that said, do I think the live-action series could survive without Ed? In my personal opinion, yes, I think so. It is not because I have anything against Ed, but it's mainly because of Ed's role in the anime. Ed was a character who first showed up in the anime during an episode where she helped the Bebop crew figure out who was making weird illustrations illegally on Earth's surface. After that, Ed unexpectedly joined the Bebop crew since she knew who they were from researching them for a while before meeting them, and her main contributions to the team was being the hacker and basically being the convenient plot device that kept things moving forward if the Bebop crew hit a technological wall that needed to be taken down to get to a fugitive. Also, Ed was certainly a character that added a lot of chaotic and lively energy that contrasted so much from the mature world that was being presented in Cowboy Bebop. To put it simply, Ed was the most anime character out of all the characters from the show, and I can only imagine how hard it would be to replicate her eccentric mannerisms and behavior into live action. So keeping Ed out of the picture may be understandably disappointing to fans, but I think the live action series would simply be saving itself a huge headache by not casting somebody in a role where the potential to fuck up is exponentially high. It's going to be interesting to see how this live action series is going to handle the episodes where Ed is prominently featured, such as the Mushroom Samba, which was briefly revealed in the live action opening, and I really do hope that is done well, because Netflix is playing with fire by even thinking about adapting those specific episodes which relied so much on Ed. With that said, if Ed is possibly out of the picture for the live action series, this may also be an indication that we may not be getting a full-fledged adaptation of all the episodes from the anime, and that we may be only getting about half of the original episodes. So far, it looks like how people remembered Cowboy Bebop. After I finished watching the anime and I was wondering what was the point of watching Cowboy Bebop, I kept thinking about the episodes that focused on the main cast and how there was a pattern that I noticed where they all eventually had to face their past. Cowboy Bebop isn't an anime about overt character development, since characters like Spike stayed pretty much the same personality-wise throughout the series, but at the same time, the show itself seemed to progress whenever more details were slowly revealed about who these characters were before becoming bounty hunters. While the formula for Cowboy Bebop's premise is very simple, we spend so much time hunting new fugitives with these characters that we naturally want to know more about them. And so I think that whenever any one of the main cast comes across something or someone new to us who is connected to them in their past, it's exciting because I think that the message of Cowboy Bebop is revealed in these moments, and it's that no matter what, the past will eventually catch up to you. With Spike having some unfinished business with a former crime syndicate that he left, Jet Black finding out the truth about several things in his past, such as what happened with his ex-girlfriend and his arm, and Faye Valentine finding out where she came from after having amnesia. These moments are what reinforces my belief of the core message of Cowboy Bebop, and is what I believe will be pivotal to the success of the live-action series. Sure, showing all of the different adventures this crew went on while catching fugitives is going to be fun and exciting, but adapting these specific episodes showing the past of not just one character, but the whole Bebop crew is what I will be specifically looking out for to judge whether or not the live-action series truly did the anime justice. Most of the things that I've seen so far from the live-action series has surprisingly pleased me, and I hope that the respect and care that the team behind this live-action series has shown for the visual presentation of the anime will be as consistent when it comes to seeing how these characters will be translated into live action. Alright guys, that is going to be it for my video talking about why I'm optimistic for the Cowboy Bebop live action series. And if you guys share my sentiments, then let me know in the comments below. Or if you're not quite sold on this series yet, then let me know as well, because I love talking to you guys either way, whether you have dissenting opinions or not. Also, please be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe as well so that you don't miss out on my next video. With that said, thank you guys for watching this video. My name is David, and I will see you anime lovers in the next review.